Hello everyone and welcome to a new video dedicated to our beloved Snoopy and the world of Peanuts. The November 25th, 1950 Peanuts strip shows us a tender and sincere moment between Charlie Brown and Snoopy. In this scene, we see a goodbye that seems dramatic, but turns out to be much lighter and everyday. This is one of the earliest examples of Charles Schulz's talent for telling seemingly simple stories, but full of emotional nuance. We're still in the early days of the series, and the bond between Snoopy and Charlie Brown has not yet reached the depth we will see in later years. However, this strip already offers a glimpse of their special relationship, made up of small moments of affection and a dash of humor. It is interesting to note how Schulz manages to capture the sensitivity of a character like Charlie Brown, always poised between seriousness and an innocent lightness, and how Snoopy, while not speaking, communicates a great deal with his expressions. The strip takes place in 4 vignettes that, despite their graphic simplicity, manage to create a brief emotional journey. It begins with a seemingly poignant farewell, only to discover that it is only a momentary goodbye. A lesson in our tendency to imagine the worst in even the most ordinary situations. Let's go through each vignette to discover together the details, meanings, and anecdotes that make this strip a small masterpiece. In the first vignette, Charlie Brown is leaning over in front of Snoopy. His gaze is sad and his words reveal great sorrow as he says goodbye to his friend. Snoopy's expression is equally melancholy, as if he understands the gravity of the moment. This exchange is a perfect example of how Schulz uses body language and facial expression to convey emotion. Snoopy does not need to speak to let us know what he is feeling. Interestingly, in the early years of the Peanuts, Snoopy was not yet the quirky, imaginative dog we know today. He was more like a traditional dog, though with an intelligence and sensitivity already well in evidence. In this scene, Schulz seems to want us to reflect on the bond between children and pets, a relationship that is often loaded with very deep emotional meanings. In the second vignette, Charlie Brown tries to reassure Snoopy by telling him not to be sad and to keep his spirits up. Here we see one of the hallmarks of Charlie Brown's character, his desire to care for others, even though he often feels insecure and inadequate. It is a moment that reflects Charlie Brown's gentleness and vulnerability, qualities that make him such a beloved character. Schulz reminds us that even a child can have a sense of responsibility and a desire to comfort others. Snoopy, sitting composed and attentive, seems to listen earnestly, showing a unique connection to his young master. In the third vignette, Charlie Brown continues his speech, explaining that the separation will not be long. It is here that the comic twist creeps in. The idea that this highly emotional scene is actually a goodbye for a few hours is a classic example of Schulz's humor, which often relies on expectation and reversal. Snoopy remains motionless, almost as if he is processing Charlie Brown's words. This dynamic between the two characters creates a perfect balance between drama and ridicule, one of the Peanuts' most beloved features. In the fourth vignette, the truth is revealed. Charlie Brown, already in bed, reassures Snoopy by telling him that they will see each other again the next morning. This ending completely reverses the initial mood, turning a poignant farewell into a simple good-night wish. It is an example of Schulz's mastery of playing with readers' expectations. In addition, this scene reminds us of the importance of small, everyday rituals, such as saying goodbye before bed, which often go unnoticed but have great emotional value. The tenderness of this closure also lies in the fact that, in spite of everything, Charlie Brown feels the need to reassure Snoopy until the last moment. Insights, trivia, and anecdotes. This strip is an early example of Schulz's ability to tell universal stories through everyday situations. The relationship between Charlie Brown and Snoopy is destined to evolve considerably over the years. In these early strips, Snoopy is still a more traditional dog, but we can already see the traits that will make him a unique and beloved character. An interesting curiosity concerns the way Schulz depicts emotions. In Peanuts, characters rarely have exaggerated expressions. Instead, Schulz relies on subtle changes in facial features to convey complex moods. This minimalist style has become one of the series' trademarks, influencing generations of cartoonists. Another notable aspect is the theme of farewell, which recurs frequently in Peanuts. Although it is a red herring in this case, Schulz explored the feeling of separation and the difficulty of saying goodbye many times, especially through the character of Charlie Brown. This probably reflects the personal experience of the author, who has experienced many emotional challenges throughout his life. Finally, it is worth noting that the November 25th, 1950 strip is a perfect example of the early tone of the Peanuts. In the early years, the stories were simpler and often focused on everyday situations that all readers could recognize. Over time, Schulz would expand the world of the Peanuts, introducing new characters and more complex themes, but the simplicity and universality of the early strips remain a key part of their appeal.
If you enjoyed yourselves, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the little bell to stay updated, and see you next, friends.